first, let's talk about some of the background hardware and software information. I hope many of you are familiar with the idea of 32-bit versus 64-bit computing. But if not, I'll spend a brief moment giving a bit of background information. In the past, a lot of us have done design work in 32-bit Windows environments. And one of the key limitations to working in a 32-bit operating system environment is the amount of memory that programs have to access. In this case, at best, with 32-bit environments, you can usually only access around 3 gigs of memory for any given task or application. And so one of the big advantages that 64-bit computing introduced was a much higher ceiling in terms of random memory access. Theoretically, the limit is in the terabytes in size, but I've written down 192 gigs as a memory limit today, just because that's current within the operating systems that we have access to. So you can see automatically that by taking advantage of 64-bit computing, you have the opportunity to invest in more RAM and get much more performance where you're not limited by your operating system. Another key item that can really impact the way that you use large assemblies is your use of graphics cards. And we highly recommend the use of workstation class graphics cards. There are 2 very predominant manufacturers of those cards, one being NVIDIA and the other being ATI. So in particular, their workstation class graphics cards are known as the NVIDIA Quadro series, as well as the ATI FirePro or FireGL series. Now you may be asking yourself, why do I need a workstation class graphics card? What's wrong with perhaps just a regular everyday video game card that I've always used? And there are 2 key things that I want to highlight there. The first is that the drivers for these graphics cards are often developed specifically to guarantee both quality and support, so that you're not going to have to worry about stability issues and you're not going to have to worry about performance issues as much. Also, graphics cards, professional graphics cards, have often been the ones to introduce new cutting-edge technologies such as multi-display support and GPU-based computing. These were technologies that first existed in workstation-class graphics cards and then slowly made their ways to everyday video cards. So if you want to be, again, on the cutting edge not only of quality and support, but also of capabilities, then there's a lot of advantages to using workstation-class graphics cards. Last item I want to talk about here is the system requirements that we reference for Inventor. I've grabbed a snapshot of them from our website, but you can see where you can view them yourself if you'd like. And they're separated into 2 different segments. The top segment is for just regular common design users, and then the bottom segment is for complex or large assembly needs, which is what we're focusing on today. And so what I want to draw your attention to is the fact that there's both a 64-bit operating system usage that's only mentioned there, as well as the use of a workstation class CAD graphics card, and taking advantage of more than 4 gigs of RAM, in this case 8 gigs of RAM or more, as a starting point. So these system requirements for working with large assemblies can really help you, again, get the most out of your hardware and software setup.